Yeah. And what part of the business, how does it, how do we retain those clients? What is it we have that retains them?
It's everything, isn't it? It's brand image, which I think ours, in the international space is one of the best, if not the best, in
Mm,
my opinion. It makes it a lot easier to take on clients and
mm,
retain clients that way. We have everything, we have all our own direct licenses. So UK, Europe, US, Australia, here, we don't piggyback off of anyone else's licenses. We own all of the licenses that we have, which is always, I think, a nice thing for clients to see. Um, we just do things properly.
yeah. Well, I also love, there is a kind of, you could join this business without any experience, right?
Mhm.
And you could start with no experience all the way through your financial planning career,
Mhm.
and you could exit out of this business and you could sell your book of business back to Hoxton.
Yep.
Now, what does that incentivize you? Is that something that you're thinking, right, every time I'm built, the more assets under
Mhm.
management I'm generating, the bigger hopefully my book will be,
Mhm.
and the bigger the sale value will be.
Yep.
Tell us a little bit about that. What part does that play when you're building a book of business?
Yep. It's always in the back of your mind.
Yeah.
For me, I'm 38 in a few weeks, so I don't want to go anywhere. I love what I do. I enjoy looking after my clients and the relationship that I've got with them. But it is nice to know that you've got that option. If something happens further on down the line, um, it's effectively your retirement plan, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's nice to know that that's there, and that's something that Hoxton promote essentially.
Well, I think it's really interesting. There's a lot of these entrepreneurial advisors that are out there, especially in the UK, and they don't really want to go self-employed because of there's so
All
much
the hassle that
regulation,
comes
the
along with it.
hassle, the stress, everything you talked about before.
Yep.
Um, there's me and Jonathan Jay were talking about it. Intrapreneurs,
Mhm.
bringing them into the environment, into an ecosystem where they can be nurtured,
Mhm.
they can build their business within it with the support of the
Yep.
infrastructure of everything
Yep.
around it, and they can sell the book. So it's kind of like a win-win.
It's a win-win.
And that's what Hoxton does. It creates this win-win. And that was a huge selling point for me. And
Yep.
again, once advisors truly understand that, and if you listen to this and you want to know more, reach out and ask,
Mhm.
because we'll go through it with you.
Yep.
There is a structure here. You can go from no experience all the way to selling your
Exactly.
book of business. And that's a positive. And not only on top of that, but we only just announced that there's an LTIP as well. It's a long-term incentive plan, which
Mhm.
everyone's can benefit from.
Mhm.
So that to me is important because it
Mhm.
pulls everybody in the right direction.
Exactly. Yeah. It's it's a brilliant system, that we've built out and we're continuing to develop.
Yeah.
Realistically, we're going to have people within the business that start in Kane's team. The business development guys all the way through. As you said, you could be within the business for 20, 30 years if you wanted to,
Yeah.
um, which is incredible because moving businesses and moving firms isn't fun to do either.
Yeah.
When I did it, I had a very small book of business, so it wasn't as bad. But I couldn't think of anything worse than going to a different business at this point in time. So yeah, we really do cater for the entire journey.
Yeah. Power planners. Do you have power planners in your team?
Yeah, I have Ryan, who's
Yeah.
UK level 4 qualified. He kind of he does a lot of the technical work for me. He's been with me for a few years now, so he's a huge help.
Yeah. So international power planners, slightly different from the UK power planners. UK
Hmm.
power planners tend to be, here's a report, get it done type thing. Don't sit
Hmm.
in front of the client. But it's a bit more out here in the international space. You tend to find power planners sitting in front of clients more,
Hmm.
working with the client
Yep.
more, like in almost like a relationship type manager type position, like
Yep.
unearthing opportunities, following up with them, like a concierge service almost. Is that
Yep.
something that you encourage Ryan to do?
Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely. So whenever I'm taking on a client, and providing advice, what I like to do is integrate my team at the very beginning,
Yeah.
just so that people understand it's not just me. I'm not a one man band. I have a huge team behind me, and it's not always going to be me. On the phone calls, it might be booking Ryan in to do a fact find, or asking Kim to do something, or even asking Tom or Charlotte to do something that my client relationship people. So I think it's important that clients understand it's not just me.
Yeah.
There's a whole big team behind me, so I do try and integrate them right at the beginning of the process.